All right, welcome back to another thought of Country Boy Bible Thoughts, and just wanted to share a quick thought with you. This thought comes from the scripture that goes something like this: "Take my yoke upon you, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light." And the thought I'd like to share with you today is a yoke. I don't know if you understand what a yoke is or not, but some years ago I was working with my uncle on a job, and we were traveling through the coal fields, and all of a sudden he slams on the brakes and says, look here, you see what that is?" And I seen a bunch of gear laying on the ground, but I didn't know what it was. And we stopped for a minute, and he was showing me this, that, and the other, and a little later we come out at lunch, and the guy was working them, and what it was is the guy had a team of horses, and he was logging and dragging logs out with horses. Not something that you see today, and it was a really interesting thought, or an interesting thing to see. And the reason why those horses could pull those logs was because they had a yoke on them. A yoke is a metal and wood or a leather and wood device that goes around the neck like a big collar, and it sets against your shoulders. And your shoulders are strong, so they can pull and push the weight around like they need to. And it's something that you don't use just for horses, but ox, bulls, anything that's strong enough to be able to pull. And we got to watch those horses drag those logs off the side of that ridge down into the bottom, and it was an interesting sight. And I've seen some old timers that still like to use a horse or a bull for plowing their fields, and it's really neat to watch. It's not something you get to see today very much. But a yoke is not just for animals, but they make what's called a yoke for people. And if you've ever watched any kind of documentaries or TV shows or anything where you see a person with a big long stick across their shoulders behind their head and neck, and they're carrying jars or pitchers and buckets of water and this, that, and the other, that long stick that goes across their shoulders is called a yoke. And it's a way for you to put weight upon your shoulders and back and carry heavy loads that you couldn't typically carry just by hand. And that's significant because there's a lot of times in life that we carry yokes without even realizing it. The yoke of life, the yoke of knowing all the bills, the anxieties, the worries of family and bills and getting the work done, and just so many different yokes that we carry around with us in life that we don't necessarily intend to. It's just life, and we carry it the best of our ability. But Jesus said, take my yoke upon you, for my yoke is easy and my burden light. Now that's may not be necessarily verbatim, and it's in Matthew 11. I can't remember, maybe around 25 or 30. So check it out yourself and read it. But the gist of it is, his yoke is easy. Why? Because he says, well, all you care is if you'll just cast them on me, I'll bear them for you. When we let go and say, okay, God, here they are. You said you'd take care of me, and I'm trusting, I'm believing in you. And his yoke that we carry is the yoke of faith, the yoke of knowing that we're saved. And our biggest burden that we bear is to help one another, to encourage one another, to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with everyone around us. And the yoke of life that we bear, yes, there's going to be times that it's heavy, but he's always there to bear it with us, because he said, I'll take it. Give it to me, and I'll take that burden. I'll take that yoke upon me, and let me have it. Let me bear it for you, and you do my will and the will of the Father. And it's important that we realize that, because so often again, we try to bear those things ourselves. I mean, we've all been there. Whether it's, I got to get this job done by a certain amount of time, this paper's got to be written, these bills have got to be paid. You know, the bill collectors keep calling. On and on and on life goes, and it just gets heavy and hard, and we don't have to live that way. I'm not saying not to worry about them. I'm saying take all that worry and realize that we serve a God, a Father that says, I want them, I'll take care of them, I'll help you with them, and let Him have them. That's called faith. It's stepping out in faith and saying, okay, God, I need you to make a way to help me with this. I can't do it on my own. I've tried and I've tried and I've failed. I can't do it. Would you please, Lord? I give it to you right now. Take this yoke, take these bills, take this marriage, take all of the trouble that I'm going through, God, and give me the strength to carry through and to work through this, work out the need, work out the problem, Lord. And sometimes God reveals to us that we're part of the problem. Sometimes we just got to get out of the way. Let Him have it. Let Him work in our life the way He wants to. And it's important that we get a hold of that, because that's exactly what He wants us to do, is give it to Him. So what yoke are you carrying around today? What are you trying to do that you know you can't? How often do you see yourself, or you find yourself trying to carry this heavy load, and it's just too much? You just can't do it anymore. That's what I'm talking about. We don't have to carry that yoke by ourselves. Sometimes the yoke for me seems so heavy, and it's like I let go and say, God, I've tried, and then I ain't getting nowhere with it. And when I let Him have it, it just seems like He reaches down, grabs a hold of that yoke across my shoulders and begins to pick it up and bear it for me. And it ain't long that I find that He's worked that situation out in a way that I couldn't imagine. And I thank God that so often that happens. Many times I've tried to carry that myself, and a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month goes by, and I'm still trying to carry it and ain't getting nowhere with it. And then I realize and I remember what He says, cast all your cares upon me. And I come to that place where I say, okay, God, I'm done trying. I can't. I'm just making a mess out of it. And I give it to Him. Today, read through that. Look at that. Matthew 11, latter part of Matthew 11. And slowly read that. Maybe read it twice and let it sink in of how great a Father that we have and we're serving and working for and with. To know all of our troubles, to know everything that we're going to, and to say, you know what, I'm here for you. I want to bear this for you. I want to take care of you. I want to show you my blessings. I want to show you my love. I want to show you what a good Father is like. And give it to Him. That's what He wants us to do. But anyways, you can reach me again at countryBBT1@gmail.com. I hope you enjoy this little thought today. I know it's simple. I'm sorry I'm shaking so much. I'm driving. But give us some thought. Do you really have to carry that yoke, all of that weight, all of that burden that holds it down? Do you really got to carry that? Until next time, good Lord willing, we'll see you again soon. Keep us in your prayers. Thanks. Bye.